Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pestana. Today we're going to do something a little different. So as a literary publicist, radio show host, and book award judge, I have a very unique perspective when it comes to the topic of books and the publishing industry. One of the many things that I've noticed online is this dramatic rise in fraudulent and AI-written books, and even workbooks. So how do we know when we're purchasing a book if it's actually genuine or something that is completely fake? Well, today we're going to dive into that just a little bit. So in an age where self-publishing is more accessible than ever, there's this troubling trend, and as I said, the fraudulent AI-written books and workbooks disguised as legitimate resources. Many of these titles even mimic best-selling books, misattribute authorship, and exploit well-known names in an attempt to ride on someone else's success. And the other day, I was completely shocked when one of these knockoffs even showed up on a popular online top bestseller list, recommending this fake book along with an author's authentic book. Oh my goodness, what a hot mess that is. And don't get me wrong, this isn't because of the contents or even the borrowed authenticity that is in these fake books. It's because they're strategically titled to mislead buyers. These books are not written by the original author, yet they ride the wave of someone else's work to gain visibility, sales, but boy, do they lack some serious credibility in the content. And I have researched many of them. So let's break it down. So how do you know if a book that you're going to purchase online is fraudulent? And what are some of the red flags to look for? So let's start with the workbooks because that is a huge problem. So they use the famous book title, but aren't authored by the original author. And they'll even attribute the author's name on the workbook. These are often sold as companion guides, workbooks, or journals, but the original author has zero involvement in this. And many times they have no idea this fraudulent workbook is out there until their readers reach out to them. And you may be asking yourself, so why don't we just report this and get it removed? And it's not that easy. Believe me, I've tried. Only the original author or publisher can reach out to these online sources and then file a form and request that it's a copyright infringement. And a lot of times they don't even know to do that process or how to even start. And it could be a little tricky. We'll be covering the copyright infringement and what to do in another show. So in the meantime, how do we even identify if these books are fake? A lot of times they'll have pseudonames, they'll have no digital footprint. So if you go to look up whatever the other author is listed on the book, you can't find them anywhere. The books are filled with very low quality or AI-generated content because they really don't care what's in the book. They're just filling it up to take space and to confuse the consumer. These titles often lack originality, they feel repetitive, they may use the same color scheme as the original book, but they are very low in quality. And don't let top-ranking books confuse you. That's not legitimacy. That is just based on sales and how often they've been able to confuse consumers. So you may be asking yourself, so why is this a problem? So these deceptive tactics not only undermine the integrity of our publishing industry, they also harm real authors. Writers spend years building credibility, crafting meaningful content, and earning the trust of their readers. Fraudulent books hijack that trust to make a quick profit and often damage the reputations of legitimate authors. Readers lose out too. When you unknowingly buy a fake workbook or poorly written knockoff, you're not just wasting money, you're missing out on insightful, well-researched, or the heartfelt content you are actually looking for. Here are some practical ways to determine if you're buying from a trustworthy source. First of all, verify the author's name. If you're buying a workbook that's tied to a very popular book, make sure to double check the author's website. A lot of times they'll have it listed there if they offer one. And then that way you know you're getting something authentic. If it's not there, they probably haven't made one. And purchasing a knockoff will not get you to your goals. Compare publishing information. Check who published the book. Fraudulent titles often come with very vague, recently created publishers or even anonymous listings. I ask myself many times, where is the money going? If it's not going to the original author or publisher. When I researched some of the titles, I found that they said, well, we're from a small community out of country. I'm just not even sure where all this money is going, where it's being funneled to. So I think it's something to be very mindful of when we purchase books, especially if we're looking to get something authentic and to support the authors that we love. All books, whether they're self-help, memoirs, or educational, they're more than just products. They reflect years of work, personal insight, experiences, and creative energy. When readers unknowingly purchase from fraudulent sources, it devalues the voices that are working so hard to bring us meaningful content. Now, I've raised the alarm with many of these major online sources, but again, only the author and publisher can even start the process to have these fraudulent books removed. So as a consumer, the best thing you can do is when you found out that you've purchased a fraudulent book, return it immediately and make sure to report it as a fake book. As consumers, we can make a difference. Doing a little research before you purchase can not only protect real authors, but also your wallet. For more information on this topic, visit mariannepestana.com and go to articles. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.